Hi, Cancer, and welcome to your Saturn into Aquarius tarot reading. Saturn is moving into Aquarius on March 21st, 2020, and we'll go through a transit all the way until March 2023. Saturn is the lesson bringer, the karma balancer, but also through that process, as we grow, learn, and evolve, we reap the reward. Okay, so as Saturn is moving into Aquarius on March 21st through about May 11th, you're going to start coming into a lot of clarity, understanding, connecting the dots of something you've been going through, because Saturn entered into Capricorn in December of 2017 and is just now completing that 3-year cycle. And with each cycle of Saturn comes a set of lessons. And so it's moving into Aquarius now, enlightenment, understanding coming into play. And then on May 11th, Saturn goes retrograde and will go back into Capricorn on July 1st, and then will not be direct until September 29th, and then will re-enter Aquarius on December 17th. So as Saturn is retrograde in Capricorn, that's when you're going to get second chances at things. You're going to really see things from a different perspective. You're going to be aligned to the same or similar situations, but now you have the knowledge, the wisdom, the evolution to make a new choice, make a different choice to create a different outcome than before. And also, all your energy and effort in, balancing karma, learning your lessons, there's a positive return that comes. So from May till the end of September, there's positive karmic return coming to you. And then as Saturn enters Aquarius on December 17th, 2020, moving forward all the way until March 2023, you will start a new cycle of lessons with that Aquarian energy. However, Cancer, it's been very positive so far for everybody, and you water signs are my last reading. So let's see what Archangel is been working with you through this Capricorn transit and ushering you into the Aquarius transit. And so most of 2020 you're going to be wrapping up that Capricorn transit, and then at the end of 2020 really moving into that new Aquarian energy. Okay, so we have Archangel Raziel and we have humility coming through. So a lot of the experiences that you've been going through since December 2017 have been very humbling experiences, which means, a lot of different situations you never thought would happen may have come to pass, and there may have been some situations where times got really lean. You had a lot of lack going on. We're going to pull more cards to get a stronger definition of exactly, where this is playing out specifically, but this is attached to, something that started in December of 2017, and now you're coming to the end, the completion of that. So a lot of the different experiences that you have gone through over these past 3 years has a lot to do with getting you more in tune with your own soul, Cancer. And sometimes it's really hard to be our authentic self, even if we think we are being our authentic self, when there's a lot of exterior influence around us, friends, family, co-workers, and trying to live up to all these different expectations. And with this, I feel that it's come to the point where you put yourself last to meet these expectations of other people. Those situations actually kind of like blew up in your face. It didn't pan out like you gave, and then you lost. And it's because in every one of those situations, you put yourself in the back burner. You didn't put yourself first. You didn't consider your needs. And, that's a natural trait of a Cancer, being very empathic, very compassionate and sensitive, and giving to everybody around you, those that you are connected to. And some of you, it extends to just everybody, a stranger, somebody it doesn't matter. You just have this desire, to connect, to give because there's a deep humanitarian inside of you. And so this coming through tells me, Cancer, that a lot of what you've been working on is learning your value, your place, and the fact that you have to be filled full in order to help anybody else out. And you know, I'm all about giving and doing things unconditionally with no expectation in return. However, that only goes so far. When you continue to do and give to the same person or same people or same situations without receiving back, that's where you've got to like pull your energy back and recognize the huge imbalance. And even though you're coming from your heart space, that doesn't mean the recipient of that energy is receiving it in the way you intend it. Some people are very cold, manipulative. It's all about them. I'll step on whoever I can step on to get mine, you know, and that's just their mentality. That's who they are. They're on a different life path, a different journey with different lessons than you. And Spirit really wants you to become aware of the difference of where you give and where you need to cut off, and also to always consider yourself in the mix of everything. It is not selfish, because if you are not whole, if you are not healed, if you don't feel complete, you can't give to your full potential and help those around you the way that you desire. So, there's been a lot of experiences that have been very humbling, in a sense of like, I feel kind of bringing you to your knees a little bit. And in every one of those situations, it's because you didn't consider yourself. And so the way things unfolded is a no punishment to you. It's like if you touch a hot oven, or you know, a hot burner on an oven, and you get burned, you're not going to touch it again. But in these situations, it's like, because you're doing such like selfless like love, you don't realize that if you get burned once, you're going to get burned again. And regardless of how beautiful you are, sometimes that does not change, impact, or inspire others. They only see it as an avenue in which they can take from. And a lot of these experiences has taught you how to really see the difference in people and their energy. And even if they do have a sob story and they have been through a lot, but they're just one of those like vampires, takers, you're going to recognize that more readily than you would have before this Saturn through Capricorn transit. So let's pull a card to see which area of your life this is most impacted. Oh, okay, so we've got the 11th house coming through, and that's the house of Aquarius, and that is where Saturn is moving into. So this says where the cosmos grants wishes, luck, friends, and social occasions. So a lot of your heartbreak, setbacks, and humbling situations have come from like more of like friends. It could be some romance and some family, but there's a really strong emphasis of friends with the 11th house. Co-workers, people that you just know kind of socially as acquaintances, maybe really feeling left out, pushed aside. Also with certain wishes and goals and hopes not coming to fruition, and it, you know, making you feel small and disempowered. And so this is the energy that you guys have been working with, and that's Saturn energy. And with Saturn, Saturn brings us lessons, and lessons are always to evolve the soul. And, you know, as going through it as the human, experiencing it from that perspective, it's not easy to understand that, and it's really easy to lose sight of that, because, you know, you're like, well, soul, you're not experiencing this like I am, or you wouldn't choose this. And, you know, oh, my cats are playing, sorry. And, you know, so perhaps that's why when we incarnate, the veil goes over, because, you know, we wouldn't choose the things that really play out, you know, if we knew how it was going to feel in the human form. But experiencing it in the human form is where the soul evolution comes into play. And also, you know, it connects you more into reality, into spirit, into the universe, into like all things. And, you know, it's not so much what happens to us, it's how we respond from that, how we grow from that. And your spiritual team has been working very strongly with you, Cancer, through this Capricorn Saturn transit. It's been a lot for you to deal with, just with these unfulfilled goals, and maybe a lot of betrayal from people that you've really trusted. So let's pull a card here and see which other planetary influence is at hand with all of this. And we have Vesta, the goddess within, your sacred spiritual center and quiet dignity. So that goes back to you and who you are, and the way that you open up and you're vulnerable and you give and you care, you know, and you get emotionally invested so easily in anybody's story, life, situation. You know, it's just how you're made. And being empathic could be something that you desire and wish away, but it gives you such an advantage. You understand people and situations in such a degree that most people don't, and that's why you give more and you stay longer and you put up with more. It's because you see all the energy, you fill it all out. Yes, somebody's mean and cold, but you see what is behind that energy, why they act that way, and so you have a desire to help, to heal, right, to mend. That's just how you're naturally made. And so Vesta coming through, that's really realigning you to your center of self and reminding you that in all situations you've always got to consider yourself, and it is not selfish. It truly isn't. Sometimes we do have to give for the greater good, and there's some sacrifice in that, but that's not like all the time or the norm. Like, the norm should be for you to be in a balanced state. And if you don't have the energy, or you don't have the resources, you don't have the money, you don't have the energy to just listen to somebody's story right now, that's okay. You don't have to, and you don't have to feel bad about that, Cancer. You can only do and be and give when you are at your best. And when you are at your best, the potential is so much greater of the impact in what you can do. And so it's like your batteries get really run down through a lot of your different connections. And that's been a big lesson for you. And sometimes when you come to that realization, that means you've got to walk alone for a while and really get familiar and reestablished with your own energy, because being empathic makes it very hard to know where you end and somebody else begins once you guys are bonded and connected. Okay, so sometimes you've got to spend some time in your own energy and reestablish yourself, rebalance yourself. Remember who you are. Allow spirit to fill you back full. And that's, woo, that is so what this Capricorn in Saturn transit has been about, or Saturn in Capricorn, I should say. All right, let's pull a zodiac sign. And this is another person of this zodiac sign that is significant to all of this, or this is the energy of this zodiac sign is significant to you. So let's see. All right, we've got Aries, and this has been a popular card. So this says the energy around you is dynamic and spontaneous. Crusading impulsive action is likely. Now, Aries rules the first house of the zodiac. And the sun is moving into Aries the same day Aquarius goes into Saturn on March 21st, 2020. So Cancer, this here, this Aquarius transit is a brand new beginning for you. And a lot of the heaviness and troubled relationships and these situations that really just made you feel small, like you're evolving beyond that. You are coming into that understanding through the experience, and you are making new choices, and you're starting like this beautiful brand new cycle. So this Saturn energy that you've been dealing with probably goes back to maybe when it was in Sagittarius, maybe all the way back to Scorpio, okay? And it's Saturn does a transit for about 3 years. So that tells you how far back some of you have been going through these trials and tribulations with different relationships, as well as things just not coming to fruition despite your best efforts. And now it's time for a big shift and change in your energy, for you to reclaim your personal empowerment, for your fighter spirit to be reignited within, and for you to fight for yourself and fight for your dreams and fight for your goals, because a lot of what doesn't come to fruition is because you're giving too much energy out to other places, so there's not enough for your own manifestations for the follow through. Okay, so that's also a lesson that you've been learning as Saturn has been transiting in Capricorn. So let's pull some more cards. Okay. So we have Mars in Gemini, and this is decision. And this is one of the energies that you were working with as Capricorn, or Saturn was moving through Capricorn. And Mars is the ruler of Aries. So a lot of this trial and tribulation has been reshaping you, remolding you for a beautiful brand new start. Like, so much is going to change between March 2020 and March 2023 for you, Cancer. And your experience is shifting to a much lighter feel, and not, I feel like, stronger connections coming in for you as well, because I do feel there's a lot of people who have betrayed you and just let you down and took advantage. And where you're at right now, oh, this is so perfect. This is the Sun in Cancer, and this is resourcefulness. Now, the Sun cards in this deck hold the most power and weight, and this is the Sun in Cancer. That's the energy that you are experiencing all through 2020 as you complete this Capricorn Saturn transit, and you're preparing, to move into that Aquarian energy. So the Sun in your sign coming through for the 2020. Oh, Cancer, yes, healing, change, new beginnings, fresh starts, like just such a different energy, and being reconnected to your core, remembering who and what you are, learning to, put yourself first and love yourself and honor yourself, and know that you are just as important as anybody else. And if you are sucked dry, you have nothing left for your own manifestations for yourself, and that also degrades what you're able to give out to others. So it is time for you to be healed and filled full. And now what you're working on, as Saturn enters Aquarius at the end of December 17th, 2020, all the way through March 2023, we have more Mars energy, Mars in Scorpio, and this is revenge. Now, with this Mars energy coming through so strong with this Aries, there's definitely a big shift and activation taking place in your divine masculine energy, your solar plexus chakra. And, as you reclaim yourself and you become empowered and your inner fighter spirit is ignited, there's going to be a sense of I don't want to say like you want to get somebody back, but you're going to come into a lot of realizations over these 3 years about certain people, and it's going to make you angry, and it's going to frustrate you, and it's going to, make you want to say things or do things, not that you would ever act upon it, but that's part of the lesson that comes with Aquarius, is the analytical aspect, coming into the realization of things, seeing the truth of things, especially with the Sun coming out. And I have to tell you, Cancer, none of that is as painful as what you've been through, okay? Because the more that you're there for yourself, which is what all of those relationships and experiences have been trying to push you to do, the more you're there for yourself, the easier things are, the less people and opinions have control over you. And so as you come into certain realizations about people, it may make you unhappy, but it's also quite transformational for you, so that you shed some darkness. There's a lot of connections around you, Cancer, that I don't feel are healthy. They're toxic. They take way more than they give. Oh my gosh, 100%. And now through Aquarius, it's really you being personally empowered and being better at discerning who is showing up for what purpose. And despite emotional connection, you cutting certain people off or refusing to participate when you know they're only there to take, because you know that that just depletes you and doesn't allow you to be there for yourself or anybody else. So this has been a big lesson involving relationships and connections, and feeling quite let down. But you've grown, you've evolved, Cancer, and you've changed, and it's time for a fresh start, new beginning, and better relationships in your life. So let's pull some cards to see what signs and synchronicities Spirit will use to communicate with you through this Saturn Aquarius transit. Oh, look at this. We have love. A sign is Cancer. There is love coming into your life in so many different ways, Cancer. And also, when the sun moves into your sign, it's going to be a very positive and powerful time for you, because we have that here and now we have it here. And this is talking about 2020. So as the sun enters your sign, it's a beautiful and powerful time for you. And again, a lot of what you have lost or put out is now going to be returned to you as Saturn is going retrograde and slips back into Capricorn as the sun is in your sign. So that is a very powerful time of return and reward for you. Next out is desires, and the sign is Leo. So not only is Cancer season powerful for you, so is Leo season, and it could be Leo season this year or in 2021 or in 2022. Okay, these could play out each of, you know, through 2021 and 2022 when the sun is in your sign and then moving into Leo, because Leo is right after you. So this would be end of June through oh goodness, end of June, and you guys go all the way into July, and then end of July through like around, I don't know, the 19th, 20th, 21st, 20, maybe even 23rd of August. I don't know exactly when the sun moves between signs, but so basically from, you know, the end of June towards the end of August for you guys. It's a very powerful time, especially in 2020, and this could also play out in 2021 and 2022. And lastly, we have mastery. The sign is 1212. Oh, Cancer, you are done with some heavy stuff. You have learned your lessons, and as you move through 2020, the energy is shifting and you're realizing that. And then, you know, I feel 2021 and 2022 are just very different years than, you know, what you've been experiencing, feeling so much more supported and secure and personally empowered. And mastery, you have learned, you have balanced karma. Like, you did a great job with this Saturn transit through Capricorn. And when you see sign 1212 popping up in your reality, that's letting you know that you're coming into mastery in some other aspect or area of your life. So that is so positive, Cancer. All right, let's pull some cards to look at each year just briefly. March 2020 to March 2021, March 2021 to March 2022, and then March 2022 to March 2023. And we had a card jump, so let's see what that was. We have the Knight of Coins. Nice. So the way things are shifting and changing for you, because this is talking about March 2020 to March 2021, is a very solid energy that has longevity to it. It's you can trust it. It's slower moving, but it's very solid. So this is improvement, and also better friendships, better connections coming into your life, into your reality, as well as for some of you, romantic partners with the lovers coming through. Next out is the Nine of Staves. So with the Nine of Staves, I know that Saturn has been on your back all the way from when Saturn went into Sagittarius, potentially a little bit back further when it was in Scorpio. So Saturn has been in your life, you know, on your back for a while, Cancer, and it's been really playing out through different relationships and connections in your life and unfulfilled, unmanifested dreams and goals. And the whole point of all of that was really to, again, teach you to put yourself first, to see yourself, to honor yourself, to value yourself, to be there for yourself, and to better discern energy and intention from people around you despite your emotional bond and connection or understanding of them. And so you've been in this cycle for a bit, and now finally you have come into your mastery. So as Saturn moves through Aquarius, that definitely feels much more of an easier energy for you. You know, Saturn always brings lessons, but this is more about you handling yourself through revelation when you really see people for who and what they are, and not reacting negatively or being triggered by that, you know, because sometimes you'll just pick up on somebody's intention and you'll want to call them out, but that's just not the best thing to do. It's just best to pull your energy back and not get close at all. All right. So that's more what you're working on, you know, as Saturn's moving through Aquarius, which is a much different energy than what you've been dealing with. And it's like better solid friendships and connections, as well as for some of you a really nice romance and things just manifesting for you, because like this, you know, energy being scattered, there's not enough for you. And the more that you're aware of yourself and of that, you'll know when you're getting out of balance, and when you need to meditate and, you know, connect with Mother Earth, and you do a grounding meditation and reclaim yourself and your energy and your personal power, because that's what allows you to create in your reality. So you just will have a better awareness of those energies. Okay, so let's look at March 2021 through March 2022. We have the Knight of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Three of Coins. So to me, this is saying 2021 to 2022 of March is a very prosperous time for you, Cancer. Things really shifting and starting to change in your favor. Things coming together for you, and like a sense and a feeling of finally. Also some more connections coming in. For some of you, it could be earth energy, you know, through 2020, which would be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or a Gemini. And then we have some air here, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And now March 2022 to March 2023, we have Justice, the Emperor, and Queen of Coins. Yes, that is such a powerful end to the Saturn transit through Aquarius for you guys. Yes, yes, yes. So Cancer, you go from a knight to a queen through all of this, but also we've got the Emperor here. So from the knight to an emperor for some of you, and this, and next to Justice, oh, this is such a different energy than what you've been going through. This is somebody who is empowered, who is a boss, who is in charge, karma working for them, a full understanding of karma and energy and how it all works, and using it to your advantage, but in a positive way, like not manipulating or taking advantage of people, but understanding yourself and your energies and the way they interact with the universe, and, you know, taking it to the highest potential. But, you know, where you felt little and disempowered, by the end of this Aquarius transit, man, you are just boss. Cancer, you are boss, and you are in control, and maybe some of you are even owning your own business, okay, with the Emperor and the Queen of Coins. And some of you, a lot of what, you know, was taken from you or didn't manifest for you, it comes in full force, you know, from March 2022 to March 2023. Now there's manifestation happening throughout this whole process, as we've already discussed, but Cancer, I just have to say, March 2022 through March 2023 is so powerful, and like the finale of this long transit you've been in, and it's beautiful. All right, so let's pull an advice card. We have coexist, and it says, cease your complaints and instead work with what you have. You will breed unnecessary stress and pressure if you expect others to think or behave like you. Everyone has a role to play. And this goes back to those lessons that Saturn brings moving through Aquarius, where you really come into those deep realizations about people. And this is where you're just letting them be them, and you're just being you, and you create distance instead of trying to change or call somebody out, okay? So let's pull a lucky fortune for you guys. And we have a major life change. Time is right for major life changes, as a new lifestyle or location brings great joy and a trouble-free existence. And, you know, right here, that Aryan energy, fresh starts, new beginnings, that's the theme of this Aquarius Saturn transit for you, Cancer, and moving into much lighter energy. So those are your messages. I am wishing you all the best. Take care.